Welcome back to Madarame's palace in Persona 5 Royal, and last time, well, I'm gonna let the team explain. I kind of feel like I should start palace episodes like this, because that'd actually be a nice recap of what happened previously. So yeah, Morgana fell into an obvious trap, and we actually got something out of it. We got a treasure demon. As Arn says, it all turned out fine. And I was planning on starting this part by showing how treasure demons work in the Velvet Room.
What are your thoughts?
Except I went back and checked off camera and realized that I need to be at least one level higher in order to really make the best use of that, so I'm gonna hold off for now.
Okay, let's move on.
I've noticed that Arn is commenting a lot when going out of safe rooms, but I think I know where we are. Yeah. Almost ran right into that one. And heard Madarame say, "You bastards!" I love him saying that. But yeah, there's a giant hole in the ground! Oh no! But yeah, look closely where it's walking. Yep, it's one of those classic optical illusion things. However, that is a red-like shadow, not like a fully red burning shadow, but it means it's higher level than us. I'm gonna have to be a little bit careful with how I try and ambush it. Didn't quite get the ambush there. Okay, a few sheeses and an exploding one. This shouldn't be that bad. Okay, still got the Molotov cocktail from the exploding one.
Shadow defeated. That was easy, huh?
But yeah, it's one of these things, I've seen like all these YouTube videos about like, can cats see optical illusions? And the answer is generally, they don't care at all. They just walk right on it. They're like, what, is this supposed to confuse me? But yeah, let's go into the women's restrooms. I believe in the vanilla game, there was actually a female shadow in here that would ambush you if you tried going into the women's restrooms. They seem to have removed that in Royal. But that accessory we just got, Chakra Choker, Mana Bonus, increases max SP by 10%. That's not bad, but everyone here has pretty good items at the moment. Gonna have to give up one of these, I guess. I suppose Joker could take that for now. It's not gonna actually raise his current SP, just his maximum. And unfortunately, we now have to take Arn into this restroom and steal bathroom treasure, and that's all. Just a couple of optional things in there, not really much. And here we are on the other side of those. Still red shadows though, we do need to level up quite a bit. Hello there.
True form.
Yeah, over the PA system you can hear a monologue about the master artist, Madarame, and maybe I'll show that at some point. I'm so glad that I have Aha on something, and that, I'm pretty sure that actually came from, Arsene all the way back at the start. Unfortunately, unlike Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, there's no, like, particularly special reward for keeping the quote-unquote DNA of your starting, companion with you for the whole game. Yeah, in that game, you get a pixie as your first demon, and if you keep, like, a demon that... Basically, if you fuse it into another demon and keep fusing those demons, the game will keep track of which demon came from Pixie originally, and if you have that at the very end of the Super Dungeon, then you can get the Uber Pixie, which I think they actually referenced, because I know that Elizabeth in her Super Boss fight in Persona 3, which I still haven't done yet, but it's gonna take me a while to really prepare a good file for that. Yeah, I'd have to play a bit into a New Game Plus and refuse Orpheus Telos. I mean, I might do it one day. It's just it's gonna take a while basically. But anyway, yeah, she I believe uses Mega Dollar with a superpowered pixie, which I think is probably referencing that. I haven't really got to use the shotgun all that much. You'll see that I didn't flip shock with bullets just then, but I didn't really use it for technical damage. Like, it is insanely good, trust me. It just, most of these enemies have weaknesses, so we haven't really got to see much of how it works. And yeah, there we go, level 14. That means I can fuse the treasure demon the next time I get into the Velvet Room.
Huh? That was a little too easy.
Yeah, even though that was a new, like, appearance of a shadow on the map, it just turned into enemies that we'd already fought. I had a feeling this one would be stealable. So now we have this room. Now, if I'm remembering right, I think this room was where you originally got the Baton Pass tutorial in the vanilla version of Persona 5. Like, technically, Arn started with Baton Pass in that game. But I seem to remember there was actually a direct Baton Pass tutorial in this room. Obviously not in this version because you got the Baton Pass tutorial much earlier, but I guess, speaking of which... Oh right, I probably shouldn't have had Joker start the Baton Pass chain because he's the only one who can hear that thing's weakness. It's also weak to Psy, but yeah, no other party member can do Psy.
Not over yet. Get ready. Carmen, let's see that again,
Just stay there.
The thing about Baton Pass is that I didn't get to fully go into it back in the last tutorial, but in the vanilla game, it had to be unlocked separately for every party member by getting them to, I think, rank 2 of their Confidant. This meant that nobody who joined would have Baton Pass in their starting arc, because usually you can't start someone's Confidant until after their Palace arc is over. Like, for example, Arn. Yeah, the thing with Arn is, I'm actually pretty positive now that you can't actually do rank 2 until Kamoshida's arc is over, because she mentioned Shiho, like, being in rehab in those Confidant ranks, so obviously you wouldn't be able to do it until then. But anyway, this actually made the party members a lot weaker than they should have been during what was supposed to be their Spotlight arc. So I'm really glad Royal changed this. I mean, admittedly, Royal's changes to Baton Pass do make it a lot stronger than it was in the original game. But overall, I think there are some palaces in general that are radically improved by everybody starting with Baton Pass by default. In particular, Palace 5, but we'll get to that a lot later. Yeah, Palace 5 was... Essentially, Palace 5, in many people's books, wins the award for most improved Palace of Royal for a lot of reasons. But I'm getting way ahead of myself there. I feel like, honestly, compared to the vanilla game, I don't remember this palace actually changing that much. Kamoshida's palace did change quite a bit, but this one's mostly the same as I remember it being in the original. However, as you can see there is something new to Royal. There's a Will Seed room here. But, well, we're just gonna have to play it by ear and see when we can get that. Usually you can access the Will Seed rooms pretty quickly after you first see them. However, we've got to be very careful up here. And this way is blocked. However, there's a switch on the wall. That'll let us get out of the room. And I believe that does let us head on to progress. However, I want to keep staying here until we get the Will Seed, obviously. See, that door is still locked. So, yeah, let's see if we can find a way up there. And yeah, normally Morgana or another, it's usually Morgana will tell you when there's a Will Seed in a room. Actually, I do think you need to head up here a little bit. Yes, you do, but you have to be very careful because there's a Shiki Orgy here. I can probably handle a Shiki Orgy right now, but I don't want to really take my chances, especially if I let it get an ambush on me. That is incredibly bad if you let that happen, because normally you like to control the flow of battle against those things, otherwise they can kill you pretty easily. But yeah, we've opened up that pathway. But now that we can get in here, although firstly I can hear the sound, I didn't actually mention this, but you can actually hear treasure chests. Of course, gotta be careful of that guy first. But yeah, the lock chests, yeah, treasure chests make a sound when you're near them. Relax gel. Well, that's gonna help me relax while dealing with Mr. He's coming right back this way, isn't he? Yes, he is. Let's just hope that he can't see through walls. Haven't heard actually much of the guard dialogue here. Part of me wants to fight him just to get it out of the way. Oh, he stopped. Okay. Smoke screen. Can finally show this. And that's going to count for a Thieves' Dead achievement. Let's just swing around here. He's following. Going this way. I've already fought one of those. Don't exactly want to fight another one. So we do have a grapple point somewhere around here. Don't see me, please. There it is. Something needs to look a little bit for these, but now I can hear a chest as well as that will seed room.
It's somewhere.
And it's right there. Yeah, we could see that through the glass. Oh, Rasetsu Ofuro, I believe that's Mataru Kaja. Yes, it is. I love those items. So yeah, I want to keep those because they're really, really good in boss fights.
One of Madarame's will seeds. Let's take it. Our first will seed of the palace. Let's keep searching the area.
So that said Red Vanity Seed. We now know what sin Madarame represents, and as I said before, it's actually one that may not be entirely obvious. Vanity is one of the older deadly sins. It eventually got folded into Pride because it was considered pretty much the same kind of thing. But I'll talk more about the sin that Madarame represents and how he represents it later, because now this is actually pretty interesting. So there is a safe room here. There's also what looks to be a koi pond, or whatever fish that
The
is.
cognition here is weak. There may be a safe.
Whoa!
But we're forced to look at this
It's
first.
amazing.
And I should just mention, you want to actually be careful before you enter this room, because I believe once you do, you are locked into spending your next day doing something. Basically progressing this arc. Because this is actually the stopping point. This is where we'll be stopping our infiltration of the palace today.
Let's go.
Okay, so we do have a little bit of a grace period.
Whoa!
But we still can't access that save room. Are we locked out of leaving? I feel like maybe we're not. Hopefully we're not. Okay, we can still manually leave the room. So yeah, like what I was saying is that I do believe that once you go further forward into this room, then you are locked into progressing the plot tomorrow, as I said. So, like again, you want to be careful about that. This cutscene in particular triggers it.
Whoa! The hell?
Are these infrared lasers? There's no way we can get past them.
This level of security only proves there's something worth protecting up ahead.
Wait, there's something written on the sign. All personnel, this door can only be opened via the security room that lies beyond it.
So this is one of those situations where the key is behind the locked door.
Please be cautious, as it is impossible to open from the outside.
That means you guard Bill, who locked himself out last week.
So, it's never gonna open? How are we supposed to get past?
Wait, that door. I think I've seen that pattern somewhere.
Pretty much everywhere in this palace, and yes, it now makes sense why this place has such a peacock theme, because, yeah, peacocks represent vanity in, not just that artwork I showed during the Kamoshida fight, but in a lot of media.
Oh, right. There's no mistaking it. That's the same door I saw earlier. Guys, let's head back.
Huh? Why?
I think I know what real-world door that's based on. There may be another way to open it. In any case, I'll explain later. Come on, let's go.
Remember that this is a mental world. If the Madarame in the real world thinks that the thing representing that door in the real world opens, maybe it'll open here too. But yeah, absolutely nowhere to get past here for now. And so let's hit up this save room. Safe room, I keep accidentally calling them save rooms, but that's pretty much what they are.
This is a nice spot for a safe room.
Although I kind of want to check my levels though right now. How are we doing? Okay, Ryuji and Morgana are both only level... Okay, yeah, they're pretty close. I'm gonna level them up before I head back, but first, let's just check out the team conversation.
What are your thoughts? Ooh, very nice. We got enough. Oh, nice. It exploded.
We're done here. Let's go.
Yeah! Victory!
Okay, there's level 14 on Ryuji.
Check out this new skill.
I was about to say, hey, you got a new skill that will help out, but not really. Adverse Resolve kind of requires you to get surrounded on purpose, and that's usually not a good situation to be in. Though I was actually corrected on something in his bio, it turns out that Ryuji actually does learn a lot of skills that do have high crit rates, so it's a little better than I thought it was, but it's still very situational and risky.
Marvelous! Yeah! Victory!
And yeah, just 2 fights to get both the levels I needed.
Okay.
That's all it takes for me.
Ah, we're not ending this at minimum security. Also, as you can see by our SP right now, we're barely into our SP at this point, and we're already forced to leave. So as I said, there's really no issue with SP management in your first visit to Madarame's palace. Only made about 10,000 yen though. But now that Joker is level 14...
Do you need something?
He longs to be in prison. No. Actually, he longs to fuse away this treasure demon that he got. Once you've got a treasure demon, you can actually resummon it from the compendium whenever you want. They actually do count towards compendium completion, and you cannot make them via fusion. Every palace generally has one treasure demon, so you'll need to find it. If you miss it during the palace, you can usually get it during Mementos, but then you'll need to figure out which floor of Mementos it appears in. Usually easy to get them in the first palace runs, but yes, you do need to make sure that you recruit them for the compendium.
Time for some rehabilitation.
In terms of how they work for fusion, though, if I select Regent as the first persona, you'll notice the result is always a persona of the same arcana as the one that it's being fused into. So basically, this is how treasure demons work. They shift a persona up or down to the next highest or lowest level within their own arcana. So for example, fusing Regent with a Justice persona will actually shift it to the next highest level Justice persona. Same for Hangman, same for Chariot, so I can turn Slime into Shiki Orgy if I was high enough level.
To destruction.
But that would lead to destruction. And I actually do want Nekomata eventually, but that'll be later in the palace. For some arcanas though, you'll actually shift them down. It basically depends on the arcana of the treasure demon and the arcana that you're fusing them into. For example, Regent apparently gives -1, like it shifts Fool 1 level down, Magician 1 up, Priestess and Empress 1 down, and Emperor 2 up. So yeah, it's kind of complicated, but if you played the mainline Shin Megami Tensei games, this may seem familiar to you. Basically, treasure demons are Persona's equivalent of the element demons in the mainline SMT games. So the question here is, do I want to use this one to get Archangel or Inugami? I guess it depends on what skills they have.
Looks pretty tough.
Don't have a Confidant of either of them though. So Inugami would have Foul Odor, which is something I actually want. Also, Null Gun and Null Curse and Fire, some pretty good resistances there. And I'll be able to pass down Dormina as well as a lot of area attacks. Or I could go for Archangel.
A strong persona indeed.
Which which would have killed me if I hadn't one-shotted them first in Kamoshida's Palace. Skillful combo is kind of nice. So, this is our first access to the Hummer skill, which is Bless and has a chance of instant kill, better if the enemy is weak to it. Since there's regular damaging skills of Bless and Curse now, I personally don't find Hummer and Mudo to be that great, with one exception that I'll get into much later in the game, but yeah, usually I don't really like those skills that much. So I can pass down, yeah, here, the better light skill, I feel. Not Makajama, though. I guess Archangel is of the inheritance type that doesn't let it inherit, ailment skills, even though it starts with one. Yeah. Here's the thing, though.
I see. A strong persona.
I
indeed.
know that I can recruit Inugami later in this palace, because it does show up as a regular enemy. I also know that Archangel does not, so I'm going to actually go for Archangel here. There's another reason why I'm going for this, and that's because I'd rather replace Skillful Combo than replace Foul Odor, because I need that for later, as I've said. Because, yeah, oh, this is our first time doing a trait fusion. So yeah, basically this is just like if Pokemon abilities could be passed down via breeding. And when Justine says some special traits cannot be inherited, she's referring to the traits of DLC personas. There are some personas that have unique traits that are not DLC, and these traits can be passed down. It's just the DLC ones that can't. So now here, Mighty Gaze is very useful for anything made out of Regents, because this is the multi-target counterpart of Intense Focus, and just like Intense Focus, it's also good all the way up until the end game. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. Mighty Gaze, and yeah, I have access to a lot of these. You know what? Nobody in the party has access to Psy right now, so I may as well grab Psy. I'll grab that too, because also nobody in the party has access to that. And I have the nuclear ring, but then again, there's a lot of things that are weak to nuke coming up. But I also kind of like having Zeo on someone, not Ryuji. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm just going to get
Its
nuke.
power will be nothing unusual.
Oh, you sure about that? It's got 20% stronger area attacks and a lot of skills. And there we go. We now have Archangel, who looks incredibly grumpy. I mean, I suppose I would be too if I was following, the, SMT God of Law, but anyway. I want to do a quick guillotine search just to see if there's anything else I can make right now.
What do you want?
Oh, I can get Amenozume. Also, Ippondatara, which is a very fun name to say, but that requires me to give up Jack Frost and McCoy. And Ippondatara cannot inherit Aha, which is not good. Sledgehammer's pretty nice, though. I don't particularly care about Omuraki and Kodama. Oh, actually, we do need a Temperance persona before we leave this dungeon. However, I already have Genbu.
Excessive power only leads to destruction.
And yes, Kaguya, despite being DLC, is showing up as normal fusion before I have her. I'm not going to get Kaguya because I feel like she is one of the most broken DLC personas for the early game. So what did you want again? Oh, just Frey, not Ma Frey, dang it. Yeah, I can't actually complete that request right now. I think that'd be best done via Shisa, but I don't think I can make Shisa with what I have now. I wouldn't be able to anyway since it's level 15. Okay, you have Aha by default, and will learn Fire. I can only pass down 2 things to you, though, and one of them is probably going to be Rakunda. You have better Magic, though, for Aha.
Select the skills you'd like to inherit.
Okay, let's do this. How about Intense Focus? You'll already learn Agi, so I can go for Dormina and
It will
Rakunda.
receive a fraction.
So something that I want to mention is that before you leave the palace today, it's a very good idea to have a fire persona on Joker. So hello there, onion with a chicken body. It's a very weird persona, but I'm pretty sure this is a Japanese yokai. So yeah, there we go, we get Agi. And okay, I don't need any particularly special personas for tomorrow, so I can afford to stay with this. So I have fire on Joker, that's good. If you got the Ember Ring from the challenge battle, you can also equip that on him. And I think that's all. We're ready to leave.
Well then.
So now we're not going to get as satisfying of a giant rundown of what we did in the palace. Although if you press X, it's still pretty fun.
Well,
So yeah, this isn't looking all that impressive.
Come on, man.
But yeah, I'd estimate we're about 40% of the way through the palace at this point. There's a little bit more past that security gate.
How are we supposed to get past that door?
I don't know. You think there's some kind of off switch somewhere?
looks like this is where I come in.
Mona?
I have a suspicious place in mind.
That sounds very weird out of context.
Remember? This shack is the basis for Madarame's palace. I actually scouted it out the last time we were here.
Whoa. So this was your plan from the start?
Correct.
You only went scouting because you were bored.
So? Where's this suspicious place?
It's on the second floor. I noticed an unnaturally hefty lock on a door up there.
If it's locked, that means there's something in there he doesn't want people to see.
But don't we want to be opening the door in the palace?
Yes. And we're going to do that by opening the real one in front of Madarame's eyes.
So we're gonna have to let him catch us breaking into his house. I hope this is worth it.
Basically, we're going to change his cognition that the door is unopenable.
In other words, when we open the one in Madarame's house, that area in his palace will open on its own?
I'm not really getting it. Is that gonna work?
Trust me, there's no chance it won't open. I think.
Again.
You understand, don't you, Joker?
Kind of?
Well, yeah, but...
Why don't you trust me? It's worth a try.
But even then, there's still that hefty lock we have to deal with in reality, right?
That'll be a breeze. Just give me a hairpin and I'll handle it.
We're gonna let a cat pick a lock. This is the best plan ever.
It will take some time, though. Doing everything by myself in front of Madarame would be impossible. If only there was someone who could distract him for a while.
Oh no, I see where this is going.
Huh?
Oh. Man, how are we even gonna get into his house? We'd get reported for sure if we force ourselves in.
What?
I guess the only way is having you go nude.
What?
Fancy you say that, Ryuji. I was just thinking the same thing.
This isn't funny!
We're not saying you should really get naked.
It's simply the best excuse for you to enter Madarame's house without raising suspicions. So we'd like for you to play the role of decoy, Lady Ann.
This is way too sudden! I mean, I don't even know where the locked door is!
Don't worry, I'll accompany you.
But that's still technically only me!
And also, I really don't like the idea of Morgana being the one to accompany her for a plan like this.
Worst comes to worst, what if I get found out?
We can run into the palace. Or something.
Is that really gonna work? I mean, you're not giving me much confidence in this plan. Do I have to be the bait?
Unfortunately, it seems like the best plan we got.
Why can't one of you guys
wants.
Then make it so he does!
All you gotta do is trick Yusuke, have him take you to that room, then just open the door.
You make it sound so easy.
Also, Madarame has to be there in full view, so, that could be a problem.
But if there's no other way, I don't have a choice. God! Fine, I'll do it. For justice. Seriously, you better pull this off.
If it's for your sake, Lady Ann, I won't stop scratching even if all my claws were to break.
We'll be counting on you, Morgana. Don't let Yusuke notice you, alright?
If he tries to force my clothes off, I'll tear that house down. I'm really gonna lose it if we do all this and the palace door doesn't open. Got it?
We're working to get dirt on that guy's crimes either way. It won't go to waste. Alright, let's get down and dirty tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, you are forced to do this the next day after you've reached the barrier.
Earlier the better.
But will Kitagawa-kun agree?
I don't know, just say something like, I really need it to be tomorrow. That should work, yeah?
And so, Operation Nudity begins.
Okay.
Morgana better be pretty fast with his lockpicking. Yeah, I don't want to be mean here. This is kind of our first real complicated Phantom Thief plan. At least Ryuji is, has got her back here.
A palace is a reflection of how its owner views the real world. So if Madarame's cognition of reality changes, it's only natural that his palace would be affected. And all jokes aside, we really will need Lady Ann to strip for Yusuke. It's the only way.
Okay, we can still check out what's on TV. Some of that looked a lot like the palace. So also, funny thing regarding the whole vanity thing, Ichirusai I think pretty much means like #1, the best ever, or something along those lines. So, his name is pretty on the nose of how he thinks of himself.
I can't forgive them.
Do they have ever really seen much in the way of like actual art criticism in real life? I don't even really know how it works. But yes, tonight we are going to do some crafting. But tonight we can still do stuff in LeBlanc before the operation tomorrow, and we're going to be studying this time.
I'll just add this.
It's a very, very good idea to save now, though, while you still can.
Now listen.
What do you want to do?
Make sure your clothes up.